What's the most disturbing thing a child has ever said to you? I watched a 9-year-old boy stare at his own arm and ask what human flesh tastes like when we were trapped in a blizzard with no food. I was working as a counselor at this summer camp when the storm hit. The weather service said light snow, but by 3 p.m. we had 2 feet on the ground, and it wasn't stopping. The main lodge lost power first, then the phone lines went dead. I was stuck in cabin 7 with 4 kids between ages 9 and 12. Chloe was this quiet bookworm type who barely spoke above a whisper. Jessie was your typical class clown, always making jokes even when things got serious. Brianna was the responsible one who reminded everyone about sunscreen and bedtimes. Then there was Rupert, who had some anxiety issues and kept asking when his parents were coming. I was heartbroken as I watched his face fall when I said we'd be in the cabin that night, but I promised to take the best care of them. The first night wasn't too bad. We played cards by flashlight and told ghost stories. The kids thought it was all part of some adventure. I kept checking my radio but got nothing except static. By morning, the snow was up to the windows, and I could see my breath when I talked. The kids wore their coats to bed. Our little space heater died around noon on day 2. That's when I realized we were actually screwed. The firewood pile outside was buried under 4 feet of snow, and I couldn't even open the door against the drift. I started breaking up furniture to burn in the fireplace. The kids watched me tear apart chairs and tables with this look in their eyes like they were seeing something they shouldn't. Day 3 was when Rupert's shoulders shook and tears froze on his cheeks before they could fall. I broke the last granola bar into 4 pieces and watched the kids count the crumbs. I gave the kids my portions and told them I wasn't hungry. Chloe watched me refuse food, then quietly pushed half her crackers toward my side of the blanket. Brianna clapped her hands together and started singing, but her voice cracked on every high note. By day 4, the fire was barely staying lit, and Chloe pressed herself against my side while Jesse curled up in a ball with his knees to his chest. That's when Jesse said something that still haunts me. He was looking at his own arm and whispered, "I wonder what people taste like when they get really hungry." The other kids went dead silent. I told him we weren't even close to that situation, but honestly, I caught myself staring at the axe we used for kindling and quickly looked away. That still keeps me up some nights. Day 5 was the worst. Rupert tried to stand, but his legs buckled and he had to grab the wall. Brianna just nodded when I asked questions and stared at the dying fire. Chloe was reading the same page of her book over and over because she couldn't concentrate. I made a decision that probably saved all our lives. I took the metal legs from the broken furniture and used them to dig through the snowdrift blocking the door. It took me 6 hours to tunnel through. I couldn't grip the metal furniture legs anymore because my fingers wouldn't bend, but I kept going. I finally broke through to the buried wood pile. I dragged armloads of logs back through that tunnel until we had enough fuel for a week. The kids cheered when I got that fire roaring again. Rupert actually smiled for the first time in days. The rescue team found us on day 7. The kids were weak but alive. I had lost 20 pounds and couldn't feel my fingers for weeks after. But here's the thing that changed everything. During those 7 days, I learned more about survival and how people break down than most people learn in a lifetime. I understood how quickly civilization disappears when you're fighting to stay alive. It's pretty terrifying what you'll consider when you're desperate enough. Today, I run wilderness survival training programs teaching people how to make impossible decisions when there's no good choices left. Jesse gained back his laugh within a week, and Rupert stopped flinching every time someone mentioned food. I still check the weather obsessively before going anywhere, and I can't sleep when it snows.